Since we've already warmed up.
Yeah, I know. We've only been talking for 30 minutes at least.
Now.
Yeah. Let's get the podcast on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to your two favorite facially blessed individuals. That's right, folks. It's the two bearded preachers aiming to misbehave on this wonderful evening. And we are so glad that you decided to join us. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, they're joining us a little bit late because we've already been talking for like a hot minute now, haven't we?
By a hot minute is exactly 30 minutes. It's stuff that you guys, unfortunately, right now, you don't get to be privy to that conversation.
Yeah, maybe if we develop our relationship a little bit more with the audience, maybe then we'll feel comfortable enough to share it all, put it all out there. But I'm not there yet, man. I got to work on it.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, we've been to dinner and a movie. We're not ready to take that next step, okay, folks? So just calm down.
You don't always got to dive in. Sometimes you can put your toe in, get used to it, move a little bit further.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the two bearded preachers are. That's right. We take things slow. And that's the right way to do it.
Sometimes you rush into things, don't you, Justin?
Yeah, I like to rush into things. It's like, I'm that guy that runs into a building that's on fire. I'm like, because I'm thinking, man, I got to help people. I run into a burning fire building and I go, oh, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I walk in the front door. I run in the front door, then I kind of sheepishly go back out. I'm like, yeah, hey guys, there's a lot of fire in there. There's a lot of fire in there. I'm gonna head back out.
Yeah. Now we understand why you got into ministry as opposed to firefighting.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I feel like I would be a better police officer than a firefighter.
Yeah, firefighting never really appealed to me. I'm not terribly interested in all that. But being a police officer, I always thought that would be cool. Mostly because I like driving oversized vehicles, you know? I used to drive a Grand Marquis. That was a nice car.
Yeah.
A sweet ride,
you turn,
man.
It's like driving a boat down the road.
Exactly. That thing was huge. It was heavy, but it had a big 5-liter engine in it, though, man. I mean, it could.
Oh yeah.
It could move. It just took a while to get it going. You know, you have to get it going. Got to encourage it. You could sell me You could sell me on getting another one. I could get me another big boat. It wouldn't take too much.
You should go for it. Why not? It's safer. Like if you're driving down the road and you like go head to head with that car. What was that car again?
A Grand Marquis?
A Grand Marquis. Those suckers are big, okay? Those things are like ginormo.
Big and heavy.
You go a head-on collision with a Grand Marquis and like a Kia Soul. I'm going to tell you something. That Kia Soul is a shoebox.
That's right.
So when that sucker crumples up like that, it just goes to an accordion, okay? That's what happens. And then you know what's wrong with you? Your bumper fell off. That's what's wrong with your car.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang it, my bumper fell off.
I just run to the you pick it, you pull it. I just go get me another one, slap it on there.
You know what? You don't even do that because you're like, it's a Grand Marquis.
I don't need another one. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
There's somebody in town who drives a Marauder. Have you seen those? They came out in like maybe in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. But it's a Grand Marquis, but it's supercharged.
Ooh.
And yeah. And it's all black with the tinted windows and the black wheels. And it was sort of like Mercury's answer to the Impala Super Sport. And there's one of those driving around town. I always look at it, and there's always this little old lady driving it. And I was just like, you never put that thing as fast as it could go.
Are you sure it's not? It sounds like they made that for drug dealers. Is what that sounds like.
Well, yeah. It's a drug dealer pimp car kind of thing. That's exactly what it is.
But not meant for a little old lady to be driving around. I don't know what she's a cool car though.
Well, she might be.
Look. She could be. Listen, drug dealers come in all shapes and sizes and ages and sexes. They come all.
Think about it for a second. Do you think that there's a great market for illegal prescription medications up there in like the villages? I bet there's a huge black market up there. They'll be driving.
Yeah. The Villages has like probably there's probably a drug dealer that just deals all on prescription drugs.
Sure.
They're like, all right, oh, you need some for your diabetes? Here we go, got some
diabetes medicine. I was thinking OxyContin, but okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, that
medicine.
too. But yeah, like well, like hey, got anything that can lower my blood pressure? Like, oh, I got you right here.
Mm-hmm.
So because that's a thing too. We're just talking about self medicating here, folks. You know what else is really bad at the Villages?
What?
STDs.
I know it. I've heard that.
Which stands for sexually transmitted diseases.
Just so everybody understands what we're talking about, the Villages is sort of like a giant retirement suburb, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
huge. It's golf community, and
it's in Florida.
Full of retired ladies and gentlemen, and they've got a massive sexually transmitted disease problem. And we're just assuming a massive prescription drug problem.
That's disgusting.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But they have a... Oh, gosh. So, like, drug dealers come in all shapes and sizes and ages and colors and sexes. And so and maybe she's a pimp.
Maybe she is. It's a possibility. Well, when it's a lady, you call them a madam.
Fact. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me on that.
She might be a madam.
She might be a madam. With a car like that.
Hey. There's no telling. Maybe she's a retired police officer. That's also a possibility. Because, you drive those Crown Vics all the time. You get used to it. You get used to the heavy car. You get used to the way they handle and the way they move, so you want one that's sort of like it. Marauder was one of those things. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you that she could be a retired police officer, but I really like the idea of her being an active drug dealer, like an 80-year-old active drug dealer selling her OxyContin on the streets.
I bet she's making... I know that she goes to the First Baptist Church in town, and my guess is... That's the market.
All right. Listen, Hector. Don't take too many of these, all right? You want a cookie with that OxyContin? Okay, here you go, sweetie. You be a good boy, all right?
Oh, that'd be a delicious, delicious cookie.
Yeah.
A grandmother-made cookie? She's been making them all her life. She's got specialized.
You get OxyContin and a cookie.
And cookies.
And from the love of a sweet elderly woman. Yeah, I could see my mom doing that. Like, not the cooking part, but definitely selling the drugs part.
So not the cookies, but the drugs, yes. Yeah. What kind of drugs do you think your mother would sell? Prescription medications?
It'd be prescription. And probably some weed. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little. Well, that's medicinal down there now anyway.
Here's some weed for you. You want that in a brownie? Okay, here you go.
Oh, but now she's baking, though.
Maybe she learns how to bake the more she puts weed in it. I'm sure she's doing just fine baking, but she's not really a baker. So I don't know. Maybe she'd be selling the hardcore stuff.
Really? You think so?
Here's some crack cocaine for you. Make sure you don't overdo it, okay?
You gotta pace yourself. You don't want all of it at once.
Listen, you gotta pace yourself, Marvin. Okay? Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Man, tomorrow. Man. That's a serious drug habit.
Well, you know what? You're going to get addicted to this real fast. So, gonna see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.
First sales, always at a discount.
Bye-bye. Don't pay me ones next time. I want large bills, okay? Bye-bye. 20s and up, okay? That's the way I roll.
This isn't the gentleman's club, right?
Yeah. What does this look like around here, fella? All right.
So, in this scenario, is Jim the muscle?
Yeah, by muscle, he's got literally just bone for arms. Like, I asked him to make a muscle for me the other day, and he was like, bah, ugh. I was like, what is that? Like, he just makes these weird noises sometimes. Brr. I call them old man noises. So.
Just grunts. Just grunts and wheezes. So I was reading Calvin and Hobbes earlier today.
Oh, okay.
Which is a fine piece of body of work by Bill Watterson. A fine body of work. Reading some Calvin and Hobbes, and in one of the panels, Calvin says, "How horrifying would the world be if every decision you made, if everything you did was meaningless?" And then Hobbes says, "How horrifying would it be if everything mattered?"
Oh man,
it's one of those scenarios where they're in the wagon and they're rolling down the hill. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They're doing and they all, they race down the hill and then they go off the cliff or whatever, and they're asking this as they fall down to the earth to crash into the ground.
So what's the answer to that? That's a good question.
I'm asking you the question, Justin. What do you think? Would it be more horrifying to live in a world where none of your decisions mattered, or more horrifying to live in a world where every decision that you made mattered? Like, it matters if you choose this creamer or that creamer to put in your coffee.
Yeah, that one is the one that scares me. The second one, the latter one.
The latter?
Yeah. Because
why does it scare you?
Because, every little thing, that takes into account every little thing. Like, I'm okay that when I go to Starbucks, I put 3 sugars in my coffee. I'm glad that doesn't really matter. I'm really glad that doesn't really matter. Because, seriously, if everything mattered, then that means that matters. Okay?
Yeah.
That matters. And that would be stupid. That would tick me off. Like, come on.
Why does it make you mad? Why would that?
I think that if everything mattered, it would be very frustrating. Like, whether, I went to church the front way or the back way. That's gonna matter. Okay? And for it to sometimes matter, because, for example, we had construction going on this last week on 192 that blocked off the entrance of 192, so you had to go to the back way. So if I went the front way, it would make a difference then. So sometimes mattering is okay, but what if it always mattered, and no matter which way I went to church, it was blocked off? See what I mean?
Oh my. Well, I would say that everything does matter. That every decision you make is significant.
Right.
That it is, there is a difference between 3 sugars at Starbucks and 2. And it does impact you. There's a difference between 3 and 4, too. So I'm not saying which one's better or worse. I don't know.
Is there a difference between 3 of the raw sugar packets or 3 of the regular sugar packets?
Yes, that matters, too.
Question.
I don't know what the difference between raw sugar and regular sugar is.
Question. I'm going to give you the bird right now, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to give you the bird.
Okay.
I want you to tell me if this matters.
Give it to me. Yes.
Okay.
It matters.
Does it matter more? Listen. Does it matter more than this? Which one matters
more? I don't know which one matters more, but it definitely matters, but I don't know the impact.
Double flying birds.
Double flyings. Okay. It matters.
I just want to know if that matters that I did that to you.
But I don't know why it matters. You understand? I can...
Okay.
I recognize that every decision you make is impactful and significant in that it becomes a part of who you are and your experience in the world. So every decision, everything that you do is significant in that you have done it rather than something else.
Okay. I'm gonna call you out on this. I'm gonna call shenanigans here because
you get me.
Me having 3 raw sugars in my coffee at Starbucks does not define who I am.
Why not?
Because just last week, I was using 4.
4.
And I am the same person I was last week that I am this week. The only difference is a little less sugar intake. That's it.
A little less raw sugar intake.
Sugar intake. That's it. But
raw sugar is better for you than processed
change.
Sugar.
Yeah, yes. It does not change my identity.
It informs your identity, though. Every one of your decisions informs who you are as an individual. Every experience that you have, every encounter that you do, 3 raw sugars, 4 raw sugars, it does make a difference. It's minutely significant. You will probably, because you and I, as humans, we're not necessarily terribly astute, right? Not necessarily all that observant. We have limited knowledge.
Who would be more observant than us other than God? All right, just tell me that.
I mean, well, what I'm saying
We're
is
humans.
that,
Who's more astute than us? Are you telling me that my dog Ricky Bobby is more astute than I am? Because you know what that dog did to me last night? Freaking bit my finger. Bit my finger, made me bleed.
Oh man, maybe because your blood is so syrupy sweet from all that raw sugar you've been drinking.
He has the taste of human blood now. We gotta watch him.
That's definitely going to be a problem. Now, you see how that decision for Ricky Bobby has informed him as a dog? Because now he's got that taste of blood. He's ready for it now. Yeah. He loves it. Thinks it's delicious.
Now, like, here's the deal. We've been talking about holiness at our church. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, like, and here's kind of how I kind of broke it down. I said, first of all, you know, we define God's holiness, what it means for him to be holy. All right. And then I said, and then he tells you, be holy because I am holy. All right. Mm-hmm. And then you're sitting there going, wait a second. It's like you being holy. That's to say God is holy is one thing. But then you say, for me to be holy, how in the world does that happen? Well, we know you only become holy through a right relationship with God. Okay. That's where it starts. Okay. So like who I am is more important than what I do in the initial beginning of holiness. However, and this is the point that I've been making over the last 2 weeks, okay, who I am does affect what I do. See where I'm going there? So like, yeah, your holiness, like you receive righteousness and holiness. You receive God's righteousness and holiness because you are his, okay? But because you are his, that affects what you do.
Yeah.
I think this has a bearing in our conversation right now.
It's that challenge of being declared holy and also going through the process of sanctification.
Yep.
So
transformation into confirmation. Yep.
From our perspective, we grow in holiness, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But from God's perspective, he has declared us holy.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yes.
So if you're trying to think about it in terms of God's divine atemporality, he declares you holy, so his perception of you is as a saint covered by the blood of Christ. Mm-hmm. But our experience is less than that. Our experience is that we grow in holiness.
Yeah.
Despite having been declared holy in Christ. So that's a fun little game to play. See, here's why I would say that every decision you make is significant and matters. It's because I would say that all of the decisions and things that we do are a part of God's decretive will. And the reason why he knows and has this pervasive knowledge, has this omniscience, knows everything past, present, and future is because all of that, the past, present, and future, is based upon his decretive will. That is his eternal action of creation and consummation.
See, like I go back and forth on this because I'm sitting here going to myself, okay, there are certain things that I do that don't matter. But at the same time, maybe they do. Because like, for example... Listen. For example, because like, all right, I'm gonna be totally honest with the audience right now. All right, I'm not a morning person.
Okay,
I'm a night person. All right,
we all knew that though, right?
I hate getting up. Martin, what time do you typically get up every day?
I get up at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, I'm getting out of bed.
Okay, well, I wake up at 7 o'clock, and then I go back to sleep for another hour.
Okay, so 8 o'clock.
So I might be moving around by 8 o'clock to 8:30. Between 8 and 8:30 is when I'm starting to finally move out of bed. Or I wake up at 8 and I'll be laying in my bed, you know, just like going, I don't really want to get out of bed. All right. Mm-hmm. And so like that's like my typical morning. Like I'm not a morning person. Morning people are like my wife who gets up at 5 o'clock every day. All right, her or like I've heard of people that get up at 4 o'clock. I want to say that they're a myth, but I think that's true, okay? But here's the deal. This is why I sit here and go, like, I go back and forth. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter, what time you get up, or, like, it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. That doesn't matter. But here's the deal. Last night, I went to bed at 10 o'clock. All right?
Okay, and that's early for you, right?
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day, and we had a nice steak dinner.
Very nice.
I cooked the steak. Faye,
love it.
Faye made all the sides, mashed potatoes with bacon in it and everything like that, and we had some rolls, and were delicious rolls, and so we had us a nice steak dinner, and then we watched with the boys. We watched the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter.
Oh yeah,
one.
That's a good one.
I like that. The prequel. I really liked that. It was really
very good.
So we watched that. Let the boys stay up a little extra later. Then afterwards, Faye and I watched the Emerald City, the newest Emerald City. Which
yeah. We were talking about that.
Ticked her off royally because I don't want no spoiler alerts. But let me just say this: the Scarecrow messed up this week. The Scarecrow messed up. The Scarecrow done messed up, and Faye and I was trying to defend the Scarecrow, and Faye wasn't having it. She's like, "No, I'm not having any of this." Literally, those were her words. And
she'll not tolerate
it. And so but with the amount of steak I ate, because it's Valentine's Day, the steak, we were both tired. We both went to bed at 10 o'clock. Okay?
That's pretty early.
It's early for me, man. Because I'm typically pushing 12. I'm typically pushing 12 to 1, depending on whether we're playing Diablo or not. Okay?
Right. Because that might push it a little later. You never know.
I don't know if I can push it tonight. I don't know if I got to get up and I got to be out. I got to meet a new attender at the church that came. I need to. So
don't worry about it.
That's a whole nother story. All right, we might need to push our Diablo night tomorrow night. All right,
that's fine.
All right, so I go to bed at 10 o'clock, and if I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I'll probably be up by 7. Easy.
Yeah.
All right. But it's 1 o'clock in the morning. No, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I feel something against my back. And it hits me. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Faye kicked you in the back.
No. Worse. Toby's in my bed.
Oh.
And Ricky Bobby is all up in my business. He's all crunched up against me because typically we have 2 dogs that sleep in our bed, okay? You had a 6-year-old in the mix, and it's overcrowded. And so he's trying to do the whole sleeping sideways thing, and I shove him over. I'm like, get out of here. Go next to your mother. Because she likes the whole cuddle thing. And I'm like, I don't like cuddling. Get away from me, Unless it's I want to cuddle. Then I'm like, hey, let's cuddle,
I can cuddle for a little bit, but then when it's time to sleep, it's cuddling time's over.
Yeah, I sweat too. I sweat profusely, and so he's making me sweat, and so I go back to sleep, and 10 minutes later, I feel those feet in my back again. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me!
Mm-hmm.
And I push him off to the side again, and then I go back to sleep. 20 minutes later, he does it again. He's got his knees in my back. He's just and I'm like, and I get up, I jump out of bed, and I'm like, what in the world's going on? And literally, if you looked at my side of the bed, I have Toby, who's literally laying across the area where I sleep, and Ricky is right in my area too. Where I sleep, I got no room, and I'm a big dude. I am a big stinking dude. I'm proud of it too, man. I'm like, look at these muscles right here. So anyways, I jump out of bed. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? And Faye jumps out and she's like, what? Oh, what? And I'm like, why in the world is Toby in our bed? Because he's in the bed, he's kicking Ricky into me, and I'm getting knees in my back. And she's like, oh, I thought I was getting up soon. And I was like, you don't wake up till 5. And she's like, oh, he came in at 12, and I told him, well, you can just stay here for the next hour because I'm going to be up in the next hour. I'm like, 5 hours later? And she's like, I don't know what happened. And I go, all right, well, I got to get this dog out of here. I got to move this dog. And I go to grab Ricky, and he is dead asleep. And I grab him, and he freaks out. Bites my finger, this finger right here, not the bad finger, guys, the pointer finger on my left hand. He bites me and punctures the skin. Okay,
nice.
The part where the nail meets the where the nail.
Oh, he got a tooth in there.
Got a tooth in there. Pulled it, ripped it. There's a hole there right now. Okay. And then my whole finger was just throbbing. Okay. He bit it hard. I was really shocked. This little dog bit me this hard. And I was like, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, you freaking bite me in the middle of the night. Come on, man. And then Faye's like, I'll take Toby. I'm like, get out of my bed, dog. Get out of my bed. I'm like screaming and everything. And I lay back down and Faye's wide awake. I'm wide awake. And I'm just like, oh, this freaking sucks. She's like, yeah. She's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I got blood everywhere here and my finger's bleeding and it hurts. And I can't, it's like, it's kind of numb, but it's a painful numb. You know that feeling?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so I went to bed so early. I stayed up for another 2 hours. And then I finally went back to sleep. And I ended up oversleeping till 9 because of it.
Welcome to intermission. Intermission.
So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, did it matter that I went to bed early?
No, it didn't.
Yes.
Because you were.
But at the same time, no.
Late.
It did matter because that way, because Ricky Bobby screwed me up, okay?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good that I went to bed early because then I got more than I thought I was going to get because of Ricky Bobby winning. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because Ricky Bobby screwed up my night anyways and I didn't get up early the way I was supposed to.
What really cook your noodle later is if you hadn't gotten to bed at 10 o'clock, would Ricky Bobby have still bit you?
Oh my gosh. See?
Yeah. It's the Oracle from the Matrix all
dude.
over again.
What's going on here? Oh gosh. So does it matter or does it? So, all right, here it is. Does it matter or does it not matter? The answer is yes. Figure that one out, sucker. Figure that one out.
It matters. It matters.
And it doesn't at the same time. It matters and it doesn't matter.
Well,
does it matter or does it not matter? The answer is yes.
The area in which it
that doesn't make any sense. Exactly.
The area in which it doesn't matter is us not being able to understand it. So we will not. You and I won't know, and no other created being will know the difference between if you had gone to bed at a different time than you actually did. We won't know the significance or how it all plays out. But the Lord knows, and that's why it matters.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna start writing all this stuff down in a journal. I'm like, funny thing happened last night. Went to bed early. Then my stupid dog bit my finger. And then
you write a journal?
I'm gonna in my journal. I'm gonna write
daily
it down.
Events?
And then I'm gonna be like this. I'm like, okay. When I get to heaven, I'm gonna be like, hey God, 2017, February 14th, about 2:30 in the morning, okay? I wake up and I get bit by my dog. Question is, I went to bed early that night. Did it matter that I went to bed early or did it not matter? Was I going to get bit anyways? That's the question. Was I going to get bit anyways? And then he looks at me and goes, had you gone to bed later than normal, you wouldn't have been bit. I'd been like, so it doesn't matter. Or does it matter? Wait a second.
You want to know what you're describing right now? You're describing Molinism.
I'm describing a bad trip is what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
You're describing Molinism, which is a Catholic response to the Reformation idea of God's sovereignty.
Ah.
Pretty much what's going on is this question of middle knowledge. Does God have knowledge of things that could have conceivably existed had he not created the world that he created? That's the question.
Wait.
So
does God have knowledge of what? Okay, let me. So does God have knowledge of what would happen if God created the world a different way?
Right. Does God have knowledge of the possible worlds that could have existed? Now, I'm not a Molinist, so I don't believe in possible worlds. I believe this is the only possible world.
But theoretically,
because this is the world that
look at
exists.
The character of God. Yeah. But theoretically, if we're looking at one of the major aspects of God, that he's all knowing, we would have to we would be safe to assume that he would know that possibility.
Okay, but God's knowledge is based upon something, right? Mm-hmm. All knowledge is based upon
our world. Okay,
knowledge is based upon actuality. Now, I would believe that God's knowledge is predicated upon his own decree. So he decrees for the world to be as it is, and his knowledge is based upon that decree. Now, if you believe that God's knowledge is based upon the world itself, then you're going to run into some issues of, essentially you're going to become a pantheist. So, which can't be, by the way.
All your isms and ist. It's so confusing, man.
Stop putting IST and stuff on the end of words.
When you do that, it confuses me.
Yeah. But anywho, it's a fun little question to think about. What is God's knowledge of the world based upon? Is it based upon his decree? Or is it based upon the world as it exists?
Well, here's the thing. If you sit there and say that it has to be based upon something, like that kind of denies some of the... I mean, I think that the struggle there is, God's not like us. Like, yeah, our knowledge is based upon something. It has to be based upon something. It's based upon our experiences. It's based upon essentially what it comes to. Yeah, just our experience. What we learn, what we see, what we feel, what we read, that kind of stuff. That's our knowledge,
John Frame would say that we experience things from the normative, situational, and existential perspective.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Did I cover it all and everything I said?
Not really. You just covered the existential perspective, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
But anyway, keep going.
Okay. I don't know where I was going now. You just screwed me up with all that crap. With all that jargon.
Sorry. What I think you were saying was that human knowledge is based upon our experience of the world, but that it's probably a mistake to say that God's knowledge is based upon...
his experience.
Right. Is that what you're saying? I think
so. Yeah, I think that's where I was going because his knowledge far exceeds anything we have.
Yeah. Well, I certainly agree. But I would say that his knowledge is based upon his decree, but here's the fun part: that God's decree is logically primary, but in actuality, all this stuff happens simultaneously.
What? What did you say?
So, God's decree has logical primacy, which means that from a logical perspective, his decree comes first, then his knowledge is rooted in his decree of the world.
Why would you say that?
But because God is atemporal, his knowledge and his decree happen simultaneously, eternally.
Okay. But aren't you just kind of...
Is it too late to go through all this stuff?
It might be, but aren't you just kind of like... Aren't you saying that there's some things God doesn't know then?
Well, I'm saying that there are some things that are non-existent, and because they're non-existent, they're not knowable.
But see, I still think that I think that an all-knowing God would still know the unknowable.
Say that. Just say that again.
Yeah, an all-knowing God would know the unknowable. I know that sounds weird coming out like saying
No, it doesn't sound weird. It's wrong. Think about it.
But like, I mean,
because if God knows it, then it's not unknowable. So, all
right.
Are there things that are unknowable? That's a question you got to answer.
That's the question. Are there things that are unknowable? But like for you and I, yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, for you and me, but for God, are there?
But for God, is there anything that's unknowable?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I would say that which doesn't exist.
Oh, man, this is really hard. This is really hard.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's a fun little thought game, isn't it?
It is, but maybe... Like, I kind of want to, like, I want to sit here and be like, no, I think God would know the things that, like, I can't, that doesn't exist.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm sure that he can know things that don't exist.
Which obviously doesn't work, okay? Listen.
Yeah, okay.
I know that if I drink a whole lot of booze,
if
I drink a whole lot of booze, I go get in my car, start driving around. Like, I drink a lot of booze. Like, so much booze that I drink, like, all the booze in the whole entire world. And then I get in my car, and I start driving around. Something bad's going to happen.
Okay.
Or I know that, but I don't have to do it to know it. I don't have to do it to know it. I know that something bad is going to happen because like that's the bottom line. And what the extreme of that bad is, where the bad is, it could be, yes, I get in an accident and I kill someone else and I kill myself. That could be, or I just drive like in like my down the street in my neighbor's yard, taking out mailbox after mailbox after mailbox after mailbox until I run into a ditch. Okay, and then I pass out and I go to sleep. The police get me the next day, and I'm in the jail. Okay, I'm in the jail like a little jailbird singing, because I've got a great singing voice and everything, like a jailbird. And so that could be bad too. That happens. I don't know, but I know that if I drink too much, I get in my car and I drive down the road, something bad's going to happen.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I don't have to do that to know it. I don't have to do it to know it.
Well, there's a couple of things wrong with your example.
Okay.
When you drink all the booze in the world and you get drunk and you go driving, you don't.
Well, first of all, if I drank all the booze in the world,
right,
booze poisoning, right? Is that what it's called? Alcohol poisoning. I'm dead.
Alcohol poisoning. Yeah. Okay. You get sufficiently drunk so that you can't drive. You get in your car and you drive anyway. You don't know that something bad's going to happen. You're making an assumption based upon the odds, and the odds are very good.
In my opinion, the odds are ever in your favor in that. Yeah. Yeah,
the odds are ever in your favor that you get arrested. So,
and you're probably going to die.
Right. So you're not. You don't know that that's going to happen. You have a very, very good probability of that happening, but you don't know that it's going to happen. See, knowledge is not a matter of probability. Okay. It's a matter of assurance, particularly when we're talking about God. See, God doesn't create the world playing the odds. He creates the world knowing exactly what happens.
Okay. All right. Well, here's where your argument kind of fails here, because here's the deal. He creates the world knowing what's going to happen. So it's not even created yet, and it's not even done yet he actually knows what's essentially isn't able to be known yet because he hasn't done it yet.
Listen. I'm using temporal language to describe a temporal God because I'm a temporal being, so I have to use temporal language. God creates the world knowing all that will happen in his creation. See, otherwise, if God creates the world not knowing all that happens within creation, then you have no basis for consistent prophecy.
Oh my gosh.
And then you end up falling into open theism, where God is just trying to work this plan together. Prophecy only works for what God is going to do when that time finally shows up. So God can say, through Hosea to the nation of Israel, that I'm going to send Assyria down there to crush you.
Mm-hmm.
But God doesn't actually know. He can only prophesy that because he knows that in a certain set of time that he's going to cause Assyria to go down there and do that.
Okay.
See, that's open theism, where God is experiencing time linearly, just like you and I do. I don't think that the Bible allows for that. And I don't think that prophecy makes any sense when it's only describing specifically what God does, as opposed to all sorts of different things that are happening within creation. Of course, I would say that God is making all the different things that are happening in creation happen anyway. But anyhow.
Oh, gosh.
Is that clear as mud for you?
Yeah, man, that's pretty much clear as mud. So.
Okay.
So question, does it matter or does it not matter?
It matters.
I still think it doesn't matter.
It matters. It matters, but for us, it matters for God, and it matters for us, but we won't understand why these different things matter for us. We might not ever understand why they happen for us. Not to their fullest extent.
Okay. I still don't think 3 sugars matters. I still don't think it matters.
Raw sugar.
And when I'm at home, it's 1 scoop compared to what it used to be 1.5. 1 scoop.
So why are you cutting down on the sugar? Is it having a negative effect on you? You're just trying to cut out the calories.
I'm just trying to cut it out. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm like, hey, I could.
You should switch to black coffee.
I used to drink black coffee.
Yeah.
And then I got onto the sugar, and I can't get back to the delight. I'm cutting it down a little bit at a time, you know. And actually, I cut down to 2 sugars 2 weeks ago. I cut down to 2 sugars. Went back to 4 last week, and this week I'm down to 3. So, yeah, okay, it's a crazy thing going on. So
it's very erratic.
I'm erratic, but I think I'm good with the 3, and I'm gonna wean down to 2 now. So I feel like I jumped the gun when I went 4 to 2. I'm going to go 4 to 3 to 2 to 1
to black.
Maybe a little bit of cream in it, and I might go 1 with a little cream, and then I'll go 0 with a little cream, and then I'll wean off the cream.
I drink.
Sound like a good idea? Yeah, I know, because you're paranoid.
Yeah. Caffeine-induced paranoia. We all know about it. I have it.
You got a lot of stuff going on here, man. You're lactose intolerant and everything, and
sensitive lactose sensitivity. Let's not, because
you can't tolerate
right now. I don't put sugar in my coffee, but I do put those international delight things in there. And there's just
you
a
should
ton
be
of
in the
sugar
bathroom like constantly. Yeah. There's a lot of sugar in that.
Well, I don't use a whole lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure there's very much dairy in it anyway.
International delights are so delightful. I love those things.
They are. Oh, they're very good.
Yeah,
it's all the flavored stuff, but there's so much sugar in it that you don't even have to add sugar to your coffee.
Well, yeah, but okay. Don't tell me that. Yeah, I'm still adding sugar.
Well, I mean, if you're going to Starbucks and you're adding cream, that stuff's not cream. It's like cream and sugar already.
No, I'm not adding there. No. Listen. All right, I got to clarify this. When I go to Starbucks, I'm not ordering some fruity frappuccino type thing. I'm not ordering
yeah, you are.
Listen, no. Like, there's one drink I drink that is like there's actually okay. I had 3 drinks at Starbucks right now. Okay, 3 drinks. Okay,
3.
One is a caramel macchiato. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Caramel macchiatos are delightful. Okay, they're fantastic, huh?
Is that a frou-frou drink?
It's not a frou-frou drink.
Because if it is...
It's not. You want to know why?
I don't care.
Because on the bottom it's sweet. The middle it's a little less sweet. And the top it's not sweet. It's this really kind of cool layered thing. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I could have them all backwards, okay? I could totally have that. All right? But anyways, so there's that drink. Then I like that Cascara, that new Cascara drink, which is the cherry coffee.
I don't know what that is.
It is just... very lightly sweetened. It's so light, and it has just a hint of cherry in it. It's delicious. It is delicious, Martin. But it's not too sweet. It's not too sweet, which means it's not frou-frou. Okay, not frou-frou. Okay, all right. And then, but my main go-to, straight coffee. That's it. I'll just have a black coffee, and then I'll put my 2 sugars in it and a little bit of I typically like to use regular milk, but if they don't, I have to use half and half. If they don't have the milk there, then I'll use the half and half.
Okay.
So let's just clarify that, everybody. Not frou-frou. That's not frou-frou.
What is a frou-frou Starbucks drink? I don't have a Starbucks in town, so I don't know.
Okay.
I just know I like caramel macchiato.
A frou-frou would be basically when they take something and they take like a glass. All right, I'm going to hold this glass up. Mm-hmm. They put this much milk in it. See where I'm at? On the glass, they put like that much milk in it.
He's very close to the top.
I'm very close to the top, and then the rest is coffee.
So pretty much just
like, you want some coffee with your milk? Yeah. I'd like some coffee with my milk, and then dump a bunch of sugar in that too. No.
Dude, I ate a bowl of cereal the other day with regular milk. Mm-hmm. It was a terrible decision. Was
it? On account of your lactose intolerance?
I ate that and I was like, "Oh man, this is so good." I hadn't eaten cereal in like a bowl. I'm
gonna go to the bathroom,
and
I might as well just eat this on the toilet.
I hadn't eaten a bowl of cereal in probably 2 years, and I love cereal. And I ate this stuff, and I was like, "That's good." And then after I was finished, I was like, so nice." No lie, dude. It was probably 5 minutes after I was done. All over.
Gosh. Oh my gosh! All over? You didn't make it. You
didn't
make it to the bathroom.
No. I made it. Everything was okay with regard to sanitation. Right?
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, I don't want to know.
fine.
All right, I don't need to know anymore. I don't need to know anymore.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it was disastrous in my stomach.
In your stomach.
It didn't last. How come
gym workout right there? Pop, pop. The gun show, son. Look at that. Look at that.
Wonderful. How come no one's on face side of the bed? I see it. It's very impressive.
I don't know why.
Wonderful.
My biceps.
Congratulations
I'm
on
just showing them
your Guido pump.